Okay, here we are. Episode 4.
I think I was frozen when I did it.
You're not frozen now.
I wasn't before either. Anyway.
Let it go. Just let it go.
Anywho.
Episode 4, Questionable Choices. Welcome. We already have 3 people in the chat room.
Yay.
Please chime in. Tell us who you are. Kelvin and Katie and who else is out there. Now we're down to 1. So I chased 2 people away immediately.
That's exactly how we chase people away automatically just by saying good evening. Wow.
Tell us who you are. No, I'm getting out of here. Bye.
I don't want you to know. It's a secret.
I'm not telling you who I am.
Anything interesting for you last week? Anything interesting happened last week as we recap our lives first?
Anything interesting last week? No, I don't think so. I booked a minivan for an upcoming trip.
We have one.
Yeah, does it fit 7 people though?
Does it what?
Does it fit 7 people though?
It could if we put the middle seat in, but we have little ones in car seats, so it takes.
Yeah, I needed one for 6 adults, so.
And I also we also have a boxer, so he takes up like the whole back seat when we go on trips. But
yeah, no, it's another quiet. It was a pretty quiet week for us here. Not a lot going on. The weather is not cooperating. We aren't getting spring. It keeps giving us glimpses of spring out here, but it doesn't want to stick. So
I get that. Well, we had a lot of rain last week. It was a little warmer. Unfortunately, my 2 little guys have been sick since the end of last week. Little nose colds. I have little pictures of them with their little pathetic little faces when they're sick. Ooh, nose is runny. It's very sad, but they're in good spirits. They still drive us crazy because they're kids, little baby kids.
Because they're kids.
They're fun. My oldest was just laughing at nothing tonight. We have video of him just sitting there laughing his head off, and we have no idea what started it.
He probably had a joke. He probably thought of something funny in his head.
That's the joy of kids.
Yeah, they can laugh at anything.
That's true.
Doesn't take a lot.
Nope. But hey, being that this is questionable choices, and did you know, and I'm sure you did, that the Summer Olympics are coming up this summer? Except for you having them up where you're at, because apparently you have no summer.
We don't. We get 2.5 weeks of summer. It's great.
So the Summer Olympics are coming, and during the Summer Olympics, there's a lot of any of the Olympic Games. There's a lot of competition, and a lot of records are broken. And they're usually like really exciting records to be broken. 100-yard dashes and throwing shot puts and swimming records and things like that. But this week in record breaking, a woman broke the record for fastest limbo style skating under descending poles.
For more than 50 meters. For more than 50 meters, by the way.
250 meters.
For over 50. I read this record, and it's like, that is one of the most specific records I've ever seen.
But it begs the question, who comes up with these? Like the records during the Olympics and sports, sporting stuff, you understand those. You understand those records. Or attendance records for events. First of all, who comes up with those, and who says, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to break the record for fastest limbo style skating under descending poles. Yes. Like who? I mean, it's wonderful to have a dream, but that's just got to be an odd dream.
And especially when you're the only one who has it.
Right? Only 2 people in the world have broken this record. So that made us look into bizarre world records. And first of all, let me start by saying that as far as I know, Fonzie's cousin Angie still holds the record for catching most quarters off his forearm when he flips them. However many that was, I forget, but it's a Happy Days reference.
It was something it was some kind of ridiculous, right? Like 40.
And again, that's one of those that's made me think about that. It's like, what are these so you and I know we did some research on records, so I will go do this way. I'll read one, then you read one, then I read one, you read one, because we
Okay.
may have similar ones. So I'm going to start with this one because I actually have all the information on it. The world record for typing all of the numbers from 1 to 1 million in words, not numbers. The record is 16 years and 7 months. Somebody did this from 1982 to 1998.
Like consecutively?
I
Like they didn't stop for 16 years?
Even if they stopped for 16 years, again, who's thinking to themselves, wow, someday I'm gonna type out all the numbers from 1 to 1 million. I'm gonna be in that book. Look,
You wake up in the morning like, you know what I'm gonna go do today? 365,112 to 365,284. That's what I'm knocking off today.
one thing is for sure, though, I believe his doctor set the record for most prescriptions for carpal tunnel.
Like, oh, there you go. Most number popcorn. It's funny because I don't really taste test a lot of them when I'm making them. For anybody who doesn't know, and you probably don't, one of my hobby is making popcorn, and not just regular stuff. I make flavored stuff, peanut butter cup stuff, jalapeno cheddar, and all that. And Kelvin knows about it, and he's actually partaken in some of my flavors. And so, yes,
Well,
to eat most number of popcorn kernels in a minute. Yes.
Well, Gordon Ramsay would not be happy with you not taste testing your stuff. Just letting you say. See, just letting you know.
Taste it. Taste it.
Oh, didn't you taste it first? You donkey. Anyway, so that's the first one I have.
All right.
So
I got one. The heaviest train pulled with a beard. 6,069 pounds.
Again.
So someone decided to hook a big old train to their beard and start pulling.
Can you do this? I believe in you. I believe in you.
Why? Again, why? Why put yourself through that? Let me tie a train to my beard and start walking.
And pulling a train. Well, it's good to know if there's anything ever wrong with the railroads and they lose coal or power or whatever, that beards around America can pull them to safety.
I don't think he was American. I don't think the holder is American.
Oh, wherever it is, it's good to know that your beard, too, can be a form of energy.
But again, like, you're looking in the mirror, you're grooming it, and you say, this beard looks good enough to pull a big old train.
This sucker feels strong today.
I feel power in my beard right now. Let's go hook it up to a. Do you start with like Volkswagens and work your way up?
Yeah. How do you test that?
What's your training regimen for something like that?
Well, I woke up one morning when I was a kid, and the first thing I did, I tied a matchbox to my eyebrow, and I pulled that.
Like,
I had strong hair.
Where do you start? What do you do? Do you tie it like to one of those little pedal cars as a kid, and that a kid has, and work from there?
Putting the little fake beards on.
Yeah, come on.
Like,
so that's a very strange. That to me was a really strange one.
I did not have that one.
What's your next one?
Okay, now at first hearing this, you say maybe not that bad. Squirting milk the farthest distance. Now first you're thinking, okay, what are you like squirting with a bottle, a water gun?
Oh no, I know where you're going with this.
Then I'm thinking it's a woman squirting here. No, with your eyes.
Oh, I've heard of this before.
Squirting milk the farthest distance with your eyes. The record, by the way, 9 feet 2 inches. Again, first you realize you have this special gift that you can squirt milk from your eyes.
Look at this.
And you walk around
fun at parties.
Yeah, I was gonna say, this is my friend Art. Watch this. Watch what he can do. Do you have any milk? Can he do beer? No, just milk.
Here, hold out your coffee cup. Hold it out here. I got something for you.
Did I get it in there? And you're right. At first, when I read it, I thought they meant, are they talking about like women squirting them like when they're pregnant? And it's a
Depends on if she's driving in heavy traffic or not.
But then to see it was squirting from your eyes.
Yeah, that's just wrong.
And again, I guess that's when you find out you have this weird ability. It's like, what can I do with this, Dad? I want you to go out there, son, and squirt.
You're not going to be one of the X-Men with that ability, though.
Yeah.
That's just not getting you anywhere.
Professor X, what can I do? Ow. Here's milk in your eye. And mine, too.
It's coming out of mine into yours. Let's see. What else do I have? Okay. How about this one? Fastest motorcycle speed, which sounds normal. Hey, I got on a motorcycle. I'm going to see how fast I can go. While driving blindfolded.
Again.
Almost 165 miles an hour with a blindfold on.
I see.
Do you have a sidecar with a seeing eye dog in it?
I can tell you, I see these people on the interstate a lot. And I mean, now I realize why they drive like they do, because they must be blindfolded trying to set a record.
Who's like, well, again, hey, you know what? I bet I could drive this motorcycle really fast. You know what would be making more fun? Not being able to see where it's going.
Right. But that's exactly really fast. And again, it's like, well, yeah, let's go to, you know what? We're going to break into the airport and we'll just get on the runways, because those you can be safe on it. If you're going.
Well, but can you really be safe on the runway? Like, where would you go? Where would you go to do this record? What's your next one? Give me another one.
All right, so I'm just reading over some of these, like, what really is, like, this one. Okay, again, where do people come up with, yeah, you know what? I think this will make a great world record. Now, I like Jell-O. A lot of people like Jell-O, like eating Jell-O. And a lot of different ways you can eat Jell-O, I guess. But this world record is most Jell-O eaten in 1 minute with chopsticks. Again, there's a world record for eating Jell-O with chops. I mean,
I guess on board one day.
One day you go to the buffet, you go to the dessert part, and they always have that really hard square Jell-O at the buffet. Yeah. And you're saying, wow, this is easy doing it with these, until you realize it's not real Jell-O. It's some kind of strange concoction that reminds you of Jell-O. I can break the record for eating this in a minute with these chopsticks.
It's a Jell-O-like substance.
But again, I'm going to eat Jell-O with chopsticks. Next week, I will eat Jell-O with a knife.
With one chopstick.
With one chopstick.
Stab the Jell-O.
Oh, people are
check this one out.
All right.
Here's a good one. Most apples held in the mouth and cut in half by a chainsaw in 1 minute. Is the record really worth the risk at that point? I'm going to jam. And by the way, it was 25 apples.
Do you think that people at Guinness feel any guilt? Like, well, another person fatally died today when they were trying to break the slicing with a chainsaw record. Yeah.
The chainsaw kicked back. One person died and the other one lost a limb in the accident.
And people are worried about when somebody says, let me shoot that apple off your head with an arrow.
Yeah, this is like a whole new level.
Let me slice those apples in your mouth with a chainsaw.
This sounds like a record that came after a night of heavy drinking. Chuck, bring over the chainsaw. I got an idea.
I just bought a whole bunch of apples from the
Look, these
grocery.
apples are going bad. We got to do something with the apples and the chainsaw.
Ha ha ha. People, get lives. Please get lives.
Keep your life. Don't try and break chainsaw records with cutting apples.
And again, who came up with this? Like, did one day somebody just think it was a good idea, and now all of a sudden it becomes something people try to break a record for? For instance,
what do we got now? What's your new one?
most toilet seats broken in 1 minute by your head.
By your head.
Again, as you said, that sounds like a night that started from a night of drinking. And the person just got home and said, oh, damn, I broke that toilet seat. Let's see how many more I can do that with.
Many attempts to worship the porcelain altar. I actually have one involving the head as well.
Go ahead.
Most nails hammered with the head in 1 minute. 20. What if you miss? What happens if you miss the nail?
You don't get the record.
How big is the head on that nail that you're banging with, you know?
You don't get the record if you miss. There's a lot with the head. I have one here. Most eggs crushed with your head.
Why are people wanting to give themselves head injuries?
And a lot of these things also just put you in danger. So I'm sorry,
Yes.
I'm gonna do two in a row because I said most eggs crushed with your head. The other one, most watermelons chopped on your stomach in a minute.
Chopped on your stomach.
Right.
Chopped.
So again, I'm gonna put a watermelon on my stomach. You chop it up, but don't kill me.
I'm gonna assume you know where to stop. Kelvin, if you miss the nail, the previous person keeps the record.
Yeah, that's what I see. Yeah, exactly.
Now I can see a guy standing next to him like in Caddyshack. Noonan, miss it. Noonan, miss it.
Yes, it's still mine.
The rest of mine do not put you in any danger. They're just kind of interesting.
Let's see.
So
Go ahead.
Largest margarine sculpture. It was over 3,321 pounds, almost 3,322. They sculpted something out of margarine.
That went with the largest. The next thing was they made the largest loaf of bread.
Yeah, to put it on.
I got one more about hurt yourself. Hardest kick to the groin. And again, who's volunteering to take that hit?
Come on.
like Happy Gilmore.
Yeah. Oh.
So tell me, how did it feel? I didn't feel bad at all.
I'm
I was
fine.
happy to be part of it.
So fine. Number one. I only have a couple more.
They call me Lefty Ball.
Yeah. I only have a couple more. Fastest time to drink 2 liters of soda, 18 minutes and 45 seconds.
Hey.
Or 18. No. I take that back. It was 18.45 seconds. So somebody drank 2 liters of soda in 119 seconds.
And they must have broke the record I have for loudest burp when they were done.
I would guess so.
Because that is what I had loudest burp. So that tied right into that one.
I wonder what kind of soda they drank. It couldn't have been anything too heavily carbonated, right?
No, if it was. You'd be puking up your guts. Heavy. I can hardly drink a can of Pepsi anymore because I feel it's just too much.
I mean, if you're chugging soda, that you can't be chugging anything that's highly carbonated.
No.
You're not doing A&W root beer to break that record. The longest pee. Yes, he does, Kelvin. Especially if he's drinking caffeinated soda.
The largest pee.
Do you have one more? Do you have another one? I have one more.
Yeah, guys, I got a couple more. I got largest collection of sick bags. So that must be the person who has most frequent flyer miles too.
Apparently,
Coming to
why
what
would
do
you
you?
collect sick bags?
I collect Hummels. What do you collect? Sick bags. Do you fill them first?
Oh, we have a special guest tonight.
Yeah, that's true. I will vouch for that one. Special guest is my wife, and she can do that with Diet Mountain Dew. She is a Diet Mountain Dew. That's her go-to.
I missed the Code Red version, but
In fact, one time when we first started dating, she asked me to pick her up a DMD, and I could not remember. I couldn't figure out what it was. That almost ended our relationship there, because
you didn't know what DMD stood for.
just like in Scent of a Woman, when he calls it John Daniels, when you've been drinking, when you've been together as long as I have, that's what. Give me some DMD. You've been drinking
Kelvin, that's amazing. 900 plus DVDs.
these. How many does he watch though?
I bet he watches a lot of them.
I don't, because that's it. I have a lot of DVDs, and it's like we never watch them. Right now, they're just fodder for my son to just spread out everywhere.
We have a lot of CDs that we in this house. It's some music. We could open a radio station here.
All right, let's see. I got a couple more, but I'm gonna give you one more.
All right, I got one more after you're done.
Something good, actually, but still very crazy. Most people brushing their teeth simultaneously. There is a world record for most people brushing their teeth simultaneously. Almost every day.
He watched. So if I had 900 DVDs, I'd probably be watching them too.
I'm just wondering if those people were the ones who, when they made they played "We Are the World" all over the place, they were brushing their teeth at the same time.
Do they spit at the same time too?
Yeah, exactly. I wonder how that works. Okay, everybody, top, bottom,
and rinse,
and rinse, and
like a big old trough in front of them that they rinse into. I have one more. Longest stand-up routine. 40 hours and 8 minutes. There was more than a 2-drink minimum for that one.
Wait a minute. Is that a stand-up routine, or when one of those politicians is doing one of their little long filibuster things?
Seriously, no. This was a stand-up comedy routine for 4. Can you imagine a heckler sitting through that thing?
After a couple hours, you probably just quit. That's it.
How many people are still there listening to your stuff? 40 hours of material. You have to have 40 hours of material.
Exactly. That must have been their one and only show ever.
Yeah. Like, that's it. I'm out. Peace.
Mic drop.
That's it. And what venue would allow you to do that for 40 hours?
Maybe they're just standing outside because they got kicked out. And they said, you know what? I'll show you. I'm going to stand in front of your comedy shop and do this. But again, there's a ton more people. I definitely say, check them out. I got things I looked at. It hit me. It's like, I don't understand some of these crazy things that are world records. And what possesses people to not only do them the first time, but break them.
And I thought Guinness had some guidelines for you're not allowed to do things that are harmful to yourself, but apparently not. Apparently that went by the wayside too.
So our next topic, there was this situation. There was a wedding, beautiful wedding, and two of the guests decided the one guest decided to propose to his girlfriend at the wedding. And people were up in arms. They thought, you thought it was taking away from the wedding and the people there. Then there's some people who were also upset because they didn't even ask for permission. They just did it. because they questioned the bride and groom's like, no, we didn't know what was going to happen. So that leads to the topic. First of all, do you think that was appropriate? And second of all, what are some places that probably would not be the best to propose?
First off, let me point out this also took place in Florida. So, in Florida, where some of the strangest crap happens in the world, this is something that outraged people. Not some of the other crazy crap that happens in Florida. No. This is what outrages people in Florida.
Exactly. That was it. Outrages them. Now, and it's funny because, again, you know, first of all, I don't understand why. It may be a good place because you're there, but why you wouldn't ask for permission? You just do that. And that's totally taking away from what the focus, I think, because it's like, hey, you know, you have them over to your house a few years later for dinner. Hey, remember when everybody forgot we got married because you proposed to your girlfriend? Where is she? Oh, she's not with me anymore.
Well, and it's funny because according to what I read, it was spur of the moment, and that's why you didn't ask. Okay. He also planned on proposing to her the night before the wedding. And he just so happened to have the ring with him at this wedding.
Right. So how's that spur of the moment?
Just so happened to have it in my pocket. Forgot to do it last night. Oops. Forgot to do it last night. I was doing something else, and I decided, oh, you know what? While I'm thinking about it.
See, and that's a dangerous thing, too, because not only are you taking focus away from the bride and groom, but what if she said no? Then that's what you're going to remember. You're not going to remember that person's wedding. You're going to remember the fact that the guy got slighted.
Kelvin, you just nailed 3 of my favorite ones not to do all in one shot. Proposal at a funeral is definitely inappropriate.
Public bathroom. Can you spare a square? And by the way, will you marry me?
I knelt down in front of the urinal and I knew she'd be mine forever.
But that's what I looked up and said, what are some places and things you should not do when proposing? So putting the ring in food.
Terrible idea.
And I've seen that. I've seen people do that before.
When
you bring out the soup, put the ring in it. Oh, honey, every time I do this and I smell that chicken noodle, I think of you. Can't get the chicken noodle stain out of my engagement ring. Valentine's Day, it's cliche. If you propose on Valentine's Day, you have no originality whatsoever. Did you do that?
No.
Okay. You're looking at me, it's like,
No, I did not.
Okay. Family gatherings. Again, talk about putting pressure on the other person. Here you are surrounded by family, whether they're hers or yours, and you're putting her on the spot. And it's like, again, everybody just like, it's like, I guarantee she'll say yes because she's not going to say no in front of all my family or all her family.
Well, it's funny because I was watching Everybody Loves Raymond before the show, and the episode was on where Ray proposes to Deborah. But really, Frank ends up doing it because it's in Ray's column, and Ray starts to wonder, did she just say yes because my family was there? And it's very funny. So
that's right. He hides it in the column. I remember that. Times Square. So Times Square is not a place to propose. Again, New Year's Eve. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Will you marry me? First of all, you've just told all the world, find that girl. She's got an expensive ring on her finger.
In the middle of Times Square, where pickpocketing and theft is a great thing. So it's not just Times Square. It's Times Square on New Year's Eve.
Yeah. Well, this just said Times Square. But again, I think Times Square in general is like Valentine's Day. Very cliche.
All right.
You got anything on that topic?
Yeah. Don't do it at a sporting event. It's stupid. It's ridiculous. Don't go to a game and propose at the game. Can't stand it.
I just got word, even though not through the message, Christmas Eve is not a good time to propose. It wasn't Christmas Eve. But we were at the movies. It wasn't because it was Christmas Eve. Sorry, my wife is heckling me. She might have been there. She might have been there for the guy who was doing 40 hours of comedy then.
Go get some Chick-fil-A. Oh no, it's Sunday. You can't. But yeah, don't do it at a sporting event. The sporting event people don't do it. It's dumb. And I can tell you right now, the people at the venue don't like it when you I shouldn't say it because I think you have to pay for it as a lot of places.
Probably
you put it on the Jumbotron. So for them, it's extra revenue. Flash mob proposals.
Yeah, I saw that too. One of them was don't do flash mob proposals.
What else?
And I will here. I'm going to defend myself now. So yes, I proposed to my wife on Christmas Eve. However, we were at a movie. It was The Rise of Skywalker because we're Star Wars fans in the hospital. I know you're hurting, but will you marry me, Katie? But anyway, and the way I proposed to her, I got to the movie theater early. I had vintage Star Wars action figures, specially packaged that said, "Will you marry me?" It was Han Solo and Princess Leia, and I gave that to her. They had it at the movie theater and they brought it down to me, and we did it before the movie. I still don't remember
the movie.
The movie. Yes, the movie was The Rise of Skywalker. Because the tradition she had every Christmas Eve was going to the movie. So we went to, knowing we were going to do that, and knowing we were Star Wars fans, that's what I did. And I did it because I love her, because I knew she wasn't going to say no. Because I knew she was the one. But apparently I will not live that down for the rest of my life and not to do it on Christmas Eve. So yes, there's another one. Don't do it on Christmas Eve. But, I think social media has just put a lot of pressure on people to make special things like this so elaborate, whether it be a proposal. Like, it used to be just asking a girl to the prom. Now it's like this whole big...
It's a deal.
Like, promposal. That's what they have a name for, promposal. Or gender reveal parties. And who has the best and most unique gender reveal. We just wanted to know. We didn't have any gender reveals, nothing.
That's another sore topic with me, gender reveal parties and the way the people do it.
Although I did see one where they had two guys come out. One was dressed in pink, one was dressed in blue, and they were in a wrestling ring. They came out as wrestlers, and the winner was what they were having.
All right, Kelvin, that's a new one. That is totally off the wall. That one.
Women shouldn't propose on February.
That one's off the wall. I can't even. That took some thought. Here's another good rule of thumb. Do not propose after you have overindulged in alcoholic beverages.
I love you. Oh yeah, I love you.
It's really in bad taste. It's in bad taste. I think you want to have a clear head, and you don't want to make a jerk out of yourself, and you don't want to ruin the moment for whoever you're proposing to.
Wait, don't drink that wine to put the ring in there.
So that is a suggestion to anybody who happens to see the show, who's thinking about proposing and decides, you know what would be a good idea? To go out and have a couple 7-8 drinks and propose.
Exactly. Especially if you're in Las Vegas. Yeah. Don't propose in Las Vegas because you'll get married in a few minutes later, and then you'll be regretting that one for the rest of your life.
Amanda wants to know how I did it.
How did you find a way?
So I came out here for the weekend, and I knew what I was going to do. and Dee has a daughter. And so we all went out for breakfast that morning. And because her dad wasn't here anymore, I asked her daughter's permission and I gave her a necklace. And her daughter kind of like nodded. And at that time she was 12. So this was a lot going on. And I did it at breakfast. And it was very quiet. And I didn't make a scene out of it. And I just had the ring and I asked, and that was it. It was very low key.
And then Dee said more coffee.
Yeah, it was great. We had a great breakfast.
And that is why coffee is such a big part of your life now.
That's how we met. Coffee is how we met. No, it's true. She was picking on my coffee choices. One in a group chat. She like made fun of my coffee choices, and then she posted a gif of Scarlett Johansson as the Black Widow, and from there we just kind of started to talk a lot.
Here you go. Oh my gosh!
So yeah, did we nail all of the places or the bad ways to propose?
I think we did. But again, just first of all, guys, make sure you are sure it's the right one before you do it.
Yeah.
Don't make it a production. If you're with the girl who wants it to be a production, then double think your choices. That's how I look at it. Unless you're these uppity people, it's like, yes, don't worry, I've got the horses and the bit carriage coming for you right now.
I mean, you do what you want to do. I just the production, the whole big production thing. You're right. Like it could backfire on you pretty heavily. So if you're gonna do it that way, make sure. Otherwise, it's gonna cost you a lot of money and make you look dumb.
Yep,
and you don't want that.
And you'll get famous for the wrong idea, for a wrong thing. And guess what? That is definitely 15 minutes of fame. Like, oh, here's Joe. Joe got turned down by his girlfriend at the hockey game.
Amanda likes productions.
Well, I tried to make it a production, and she came in here. She gave me a hard time about it.
So there. I think she wanted you to go to Chick-fil-A to do it. That's probably why. You didn't do it at a Chick-fil-A.
Well, like I said, but I did put a lot of thought into it. But we're married now. We're very happy, and we got 2 little boys. I got 2 stepdaughters, and we're one big happy family.
There you go. And that's all that matters.
It is now. It's time for the question of the week.
Okay, who goes first this week? Me?
I think
me. Okay. I always like to try and stay with one of the topics we talk about. So tonight is, what made-up world record do you think you could hold?
Made-up world record.
Yeah, since like people are making up their own records.
Something that I am like be perfect at and like win the world record for.
Yeah, like you make it up. I like Kelvin's idea, by the way. Marry me a pizza written in pepperoni, because that's my kind of proposal.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. What made up record could I break? Wow. Right, let's see. Most half gallons of Wawa diet green tea in a short time. Because I love that stuff. That stuff to me, and it's not like it's different than any other green tea. But because again, that's a stupid world record.
Yeah, that can lead to a lot of issues afterwards.
Yeah, but again, a stupid world record. I guess that would be it. Like, I don't know, like what else. You could have somebody passing the most gas in an hour could win that one too.
I don't like to get political on the show, but that's kind of funny, so I put that up. I would be the most awful dad jokes written in one lifetime.
That would be yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So mine actually was, what is a real world record that you think you could be a major contender.
Oh, geez.
And even these bad ones are technically real ones.
Gosh, there's so many world records. I don't even know what real ones are. I couldn't drink 2 liters of soda in 19 seconds. That would not work. It might deal with an eating thing.
Mine is an eating.
It would probably be something related to consuming food, which I don't condone, by the way. And I think competitive eaters isn't a real job or isn't a real thing. And Joey Chestnut's not a hero. He's just a glutton. But well, aside from all that just came out of my mouth, yeah, it would probably be something dealing with eating, consuming a product or something. And I don't think I could break a record, but that might be something I could possibly contend with. Maybe.
Yeah, it could be very competitive with wing eating. Because I used to live near Philly, and every year since the Eagles weren't winning Super Bowls, this one radio station come up with the Wing Bowl.
Wing Bowl, yep.
And I would literally try to listen to it or watch it every year. And I said, I can be competitive with the wings. And I was younger at the time. My stomach could definitely handle it. I always thought I could do that. But they don't do that anymore because the Eagles have won Super Bowls now. So they discontinued the Wing Bowl. But I think that's it. And as far as the food ones, again, those are, again, what were they thinking kind of things? Like, who came up with this stuff? I don't think these eaters are heroes. But my gosh, I wonder how they can, like they talk about, if you ever see interviews with them, they talk about training their jaws.
Yeah.
Like, you look at Joey Chestnut, for the amount of hot dogs he can eat at those hot dog eating contests, he's not a fat guy. Then there's this little woman called the Black Widow.
Yeah, I was going to say, yep.
Woman who leads. And again, she's not this big, huge woman. And I wouldn't call them athletes.
They're not.
And I'm sorry if people get mad at me about that, but they're not. They're not athletes. You got my wing shirt on anyway. They're not athletes. They're people just who train their bodies to eat a lot of food. That's that. You don't need to be an athlete to do that. And I know we used to talk when we were younger how NASCAR drivers are not athletes. But
I get a lot of flack about that one.
And I kind of changed my tune on that because you do have to train your body. Like after going on long road trips and feeling the soreness in my body, you got to have your body's got to be in pretty good shape to keep in that and not like, oh my gosh, I gotta pit because I got a cramp. So
it's a lot of mental training too for driving. Yeah. I mean, I used to always pick on it. I said, yeah, big deal. You go around, you make left turns for 3.5 hours, and the best person at doing that wins,
Yep.
And after going to a race, it's like, you know what? I kind of get it.
Same here.
I've been to a race.
One live, it's like, yeah, I get it.
It's different. You get appreciation for it.
Well, that's our show for today.
And we may go on hiatus. We're not sure.
Yeah, we're not sure. We may go on a hiatus. We aren't sure. But we do thank people who've been listening, watching, tuning in. Appreciate that. Or watch it on a rerun who don't get to comment. Again, if you do that, if you watch us after the fact, you can still comment on the videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think because we want to see if people are liking it, disliking it. Is it worth moving on? We enjoy it because we talk about stuff that we know, or even doing the research for today's show. A lot we can talk about. It's just crazy.
Hi, Florence. Hi, Jim. Sorry. They're the people. I apologize for interrupting, but these two people, if it weren't for them, I probably would never do this ever. I never would have begun podcasting. So I owe them a lot, and I appreciate their support.
And we thank you for that. So again, if you watch it again, comment, tell us what you like. Let us know what we're doing good. And, again, if you are people who usually follow us, keep following on X and Facebook. to see if we will be able to go on next week. Although isn't next week is Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
And so we might be taking a break next week because it's Memorial Day. But stay tuned and see what's coming up next.
We promise we'll keep you posted as to what's
Absolutely.
happening.
All right, everybody. Have a good night. Have a good week.
Later. Bye.
Bye.